Fairy Meadows is a breathtaking destination in the Gilgit-Baltistan region of northern Pakistan, known for its stunning alpine meadows and views of Nanga Parbat, the 9th highest mountain in the world. It is a popular spot for hiking, camping, and photography that offers a serene escape from city life. Excitement built after we got our first glimpse of Nanga Parbat in the distance. The name Nanga Parbat is derived from the Sanskrit words for naked mountain, in reference to the south face, which is usually snowless. Locally, the mountain is known by its Tibetan name of Diamer, meaning huge mountain. The torrential rain in the Indus River Valley did not bode well for our visit to Fairy Meadows. Since it is at an altitude of 3,300 meters or 1,100 feet, the rain would undoubtedly fall as snow. To get to Fairy Meadows, we switched from our bus to jeeps at Raikot Bridge for the hair-raising drive up to the trailhead. The road up to the Fairy Meadows trailhead is a narrow, unpaved track that mainly hugs a steep cliff. It's about 16 kilometers or 10 miles long, with a 2,400 meter or 8,000 foot elevation gain, and it runs from the Karakoram Highway to the village of Tatoo at the trailhead. The rocky track is hard on tires. The track has been ranked as one of the deadliest roads in the world because it's a treacherous, high-altitude, unstable, and narrow mountain road. The road is mainly no wider than a standard Jeep Wrangler, yet there is plenty of traffic driving in both directions. One false move and it's a very long drop, as there are no barriers. It was a crowded drive in the old Jeep Wranglers. The road was built by and is miraculously maintained by local villagers who benefit from the tourists visiting Fairy Meadows. The lack of significant government funding means that the road has the minimal width to permit Jeep traffic, a lack of proper drainage, and no protection from falling rocks. We would experience the result of the lack of these two security measures on our return trip following a major snowfall and subsequent melting runoff. As we shall see, the dangerous nature of the track was made manifest upon our return from Fairy Meadows following a major snowfall and subsequent melting runoff.
There's a goat bailing out of the road. Just got off the road.
Passing another vehicle on this narrow track with its dramatic drop-off has a pucker factor associated with it, as one vehicle must either drive along or stop by the very sheer edge of the drop-off.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, I will. I'm not the only one who's out. There's a horse up ahead as well.
The sinuous switchbacks along the track were impressive and served to illustrate the impressive engineering effort required to make this road a reality. The track ends at the trailhead near the village of Tatoo, where the hike up the steep trail to Fairy Meadows begins. Tatoo is a hamlet known for its traditional stone houses and terraced fields that is set against a backdrop of stunning Himalayan landscapes. But life here is tough and demanding on the locals. I met an old farmer who has 3 wives and a claim to have copulated 5 times in one night. The hotel has a small hydro generator to generate renewable electricity using the water flowing nearby. These micro-hydro power systems usually generate up to 100 kilowatts of electricity. To get to the trailhead, one crosses an interesting suspension bridge. Our arrival at Tatoo triggered the villagers to send out the men who support visitors going to Fairy Meadows. The support includes pack horses, horses for riding, and porters. The people who chose to ride were soon off and out of sight of those who chose to hike up to Fairy Meadows.
Head start. Yeah, but this is half the fun, is to watch what happens. Hello. If you want to go, go.
Yeah, because I can be so like choppy and changey. Like I'll have a game plan and then a couple of weeks later I'm like, you know what? So.
The trail to Fairy Meadows is generally good, except where it climbs up the cliff to the cabins. Finally, the foot of the Rakiat Glacier appeared, and we hiked up the steep cliff via a sketchy trail towards our cabins. Overall, it was about a 3-hour hike to reach Fairy Meadows. At our cabins, a group of women were making photographs for their Instagram posts. We arrived at Fairy Meadows in the rain, which given the elevation and cold temperature soon turned to heavy snow that continued for most of the days that we were there. It was uncomfortably cold during our stay at Fairy Meadows, and as the cloud made hiking pointless, any heating in the cabin from the wood-fired stove was welcome. The reflecting pond at Fairy Meadows can afford stunning views of Nanga Parbat. However, given the snowy weather, we had a very disappointing view. In the summer months, the villagers bring up their livestock and live in the log buildings at Fairy Meadows. Nanga Parbat is commonly known as the Killer Mountain due to the high fatality rate of climbers. 31 people died on the mountain before it was first summited in 1953. The moniker of Killer Mountain took on a new meaning when a dark event in the history of Fairy Meadows occurred on the night of 22 June 2013, when some 16 terrorists stormed a nearby Nanga Parbat mountaineering base camp, killing 11 people, including 10 foreign climbers. The massacre was apparently in revenge for the killing of Osama bin Laden. Nanga Parbat is like an island surrounded by much lower peaks, and it is reasonably exposed to high winds and the weather in general. Due to that, it has very short good weather windows. Also, it is one of the mountains with the biggest elevation gain between the base camp and the summit. Our cabin looked out directly on the north face of Nanga Parbat, which is known as the Rakiat Face. The first ascent of Nanga Parbat was by Herman Boole in 1953 via the Rakiat Face. In 1895, Alfred Mummery disappeared while attempting to climb the mountain via the Rakiat Face. In summary, we arrived at Fairy Meadows in the rain and cloud, stayed in the snow and cloud, and left in the snow, experiencing neither a decent view of Nanga Parbat nor a hike up to its base camp. The snowmelt had released rockfall that damaged the trail. This didn't bode well for the state of the Jeep trail down to Rakout Bridge. It was amazing to watch the large boulders avalanching from the mountain near the hotel. This made it easy to understand why the Jeep trail had suffered so much damage after the snow melted.
I mean, it started in the top, it just goes all the way, because that one's going to hit the house. Yeah, that one's going to hit something. Yeah.
As a result of the road damage, we overnighted at Tatoo village in a very crowded small hotel. In the morning, we started the long trip down to Rakout Bridge on the heavily damaged Jeep trail. This trip involved alternating sections where Jeeps were available, followed by sections where we had to walk. The first washed out section that we encountered was the most serious, as it was a long stretch of track that was completely gone, making even foot traffic perilous.
When you are doing some trade, is the worst experience you had.
It's true, it's the one you remember the most, yeah?
Yeah.
A highlight of the walk down was an encounter with a herd of goats that the shepherd took to feed on a bush growing on a very steep cliff. That the goats did not fall was very impressive. Finally, we bypassed the last road blockage, and we awaited jeeps coming up from Rakout Bridge to take us the rest of the way down. Our jeep arrived, bringing with it some workers who would work to repair the road. They brought with them explosives, a jackhammer, and picks and shovels. Given the amount of work required to repair the track, they'll be working at it for weeks.
He's on the next route to Gilgit-Baltistan.
Our visit to Fairy Meadows was truly a case of the journey being more rewarding than the destination. Specifically, the journey over the dangerous jeep track was the highlight. Once back at the highway, our adventure continued as we drove on to the Skardu Valley, which is on the path to some of the world's highest mountains, such as K2. If you enjoyed this film, please subscribe and like. There are many more similar films available on my channel.